hey.
Hey, what y'all up to today?
Budget request for a private autopsy. Let's check in after a while, okay?
Only thing I see on this bid, gonna get a buyback, it was a little more, but I ain't never seen the county take up a buyback except like on a motor grader or something like that. What we need to do, Heather, just accept it.
You need to accept the lowest.
Come before the board.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all giving us the opportunity to, once again, bring awareness to my son. December 2nd, the last time I was here, I told y'all I didn't like what I saw. I mean, I think everybody here, y'all fund the county and a lot of projects, basically everything. And I want to show you kind of where your money's going. Other than that, my son, he didn't have no autopsy. And that's one thing I want to hit on. Mississippi State law, current law, shows that if my son wasn't seen by a medical examiner and extra evidence comes forward, that he could be exhumed. So the last thing I want to do is dig my son up out of the ground. We all know when we put him there, they ain't there no more. But if I have to, I will. I'm after the truth, that's all I'm after. And whether it makes this person mad or this person mad or anybody gets upset over me looking at the truth, I cannot help that. Because I am going, and I'll be back here telling y'all what I find. And in all honesty, and what I find is what I find. And what I find to be true, I'm gonna be able to prove is true. Now, last week, my lawyer come to me and said that somebody in the Sheriff's Department was upset with me going around telling stuff that wasn't true. I asked him, I said, what did you tell him? I told him that you had credible evidence on everything you say. I said, good. Because I already been kicked back enough. Every time I try to do something, I try to go forward, I get kicked back. And this is the Sheriff's Department doing it. I mean, even what eyewitness I got, I get so upset even talking about it, was harassed by a Smith County Sheriff's truck. This woman, mind her own business. The truck going this way, opposite way, turns around, runs up on her, never hits his blues. Back and forth. She got her kids in there. Got her husband on the phone, said, it's cop, sheriff's truck keeps yo-yoing on me. No blue lights, nothing. Over and over. When she gets down around Frank Black, everybody know where Frank Black's is, because what happened? He finally stopped, but before then, he pulled over and did it twice and never hit his blues. Now, I don't know which one, it was an older truck, one of the older trucks. But she drove the same thing as my eyewitness drove. And, and that's why they was harassing. There ain't no sense in that. We don't pay, y'all don't pay these sheriffs, or y'all don't fund this to people being harassed. And ain't no reason for that woman with, I think, like 5 kids in a Tahoe being harassed. And that's just a side note that I wanted to put on here, but I look at it like it's the suspects in my son's, I call it a murder case now. The one my son was going with, the girlfriend, was at a hotel. Not even 24 hours with the deputy, sheriff's deputy. Not even, on the second, my son was killed, 31st going into the 1st. So it wasn't even 24 hours. She was in a hotel in Forest. I got receipts. I ain't even got to name a deputy. Everybody knows in Raleigh where they're going. This is a small town. I ain't even got to name him. And I try not to name him. I don't even want to bring this far. I don't even want to be here. This is last minute. I'm doing all this because I promised my son I was going to find out exactly what happened. I think any one of y'all would do the same. I don't know if y'all got kids. I know Danny here more than any of y'all. And I'm doing what I think y'all would do. I'm doing what I'm doing as a father because I love my son. And I'm gonna do everything I can, I promise you. But I'm gonna remain calm like I have been. And I just wanted to hit on the different things that we went through, and I don't want to take up y'all's time. So I'm gonna pass y'all out. This is kind of a preview of what we've been working on. And last thing, like I said, I want to do is Zoom my child, but I have got quotes and stuff like that. If it comes to that, I will do that. But I don't think it has to do that if, in the long run, if somebody, hold this for me, baby, man. In the long run, if something was done different to begin with, I think one of the girls, as they call them, they had never been called suspects. They like investigator Lee said, investigator Lee. He said, well, they was young, they young. Well, how old was that youngest one? I said, 22. I said, she's a woman. You know, we got men and women fighting at 18, give their life up at 18. And we'll sit here and talk about, well, they were scared. Well, I imagine they was scared, but they's also drunk. And when you get drunk and you run over and kill somebody, you at least need to be put in a cell long enough for you to come to your senses and realize what you done. And you might talk. I wasn't sure, you know, it ain't my responsibility. And I promise you, Joel over here, I gave him every benefit of the doubt. I wanted to see change. I have no problem with the job he done when he was doing his job. But there's so much back and forth. The polygraph was the only pro action they done. And when they done the polygraph, they didn't ask him about this receipt. They didn't ask him about a deputy. No internal questions at all. Now that's cover up. I don't care. They don't like hearing that word cover up. Lee Jordan didn't like to hear that word cover up. He said, I promise you, I'm sure you ain't no cover up going on. Well, I tell you what, if you know, if rumors going around, one of your fellow deputies is sleeping with somebody suspect, I'm pretty sure this was going on the whole time my son was dating this girl. She brags about having 4. 4. I only know one. I only can prove one. And like I said, I don't enjoy, you know, I don't enjoy pushing this man out and open. But he done what he done. I got proof he done what he done. I would never bring it forward if I didn't, on anybody. And I don't think anybody should bring it forward if they ain't got 100% proof. Now, that ain't all I got proof of. Shanna's got messages on her phone from him, talking about drugs and sex in a perverted way. I got proof that he goes down there and he tells girls, you need to pay on your fine. And one of them said, well, I ain't got it. Just pay $20. That's all you got to pay. Well, she comes up with 20 and tries to hand it to her. And bring it up to the old church right here and give it to me. Does that sound professional to y'all? What's it sound like? I know what it sounds like to me. It sounds like the same thing the hotel sounds like. But I was assured. Now Lee Jordan was the sheriff president, said, but that don't mean they slept together. Well, I tell you what, if my wife had receipts of me being in a hotel with another woman, how do you think she would take it? You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how it looks, how professional it is. And a lot of stuff goes on around here that affects, if any one of us had a case down here at the sheriff's department, a lot of stuff that goes on in the sheriff's department affects how they work, how they do their job. And they hadn't done their job. Joel knows I ain't pleased with his job, the way he handled this. And I shouldn't be. there wasn't no accident that night. I can prove that he was run over with his own car. They was trying to take his car from him. I got proof out of her own mouth, bragging about taking his car from him. I got proof that she said she threatened him before he left to come back and pick her up. Said, you ain't gonna keep me away from my sister. We'll F you up. And he turned and looked at her. This is eyewitness. He turned and looked at her. What'd you say? Nothing, MF. That's the last thing she said to him before he come back to pick her up. And then when he left that night, we never seen him again. We didn't see him when he left. He dropped Colton off at the end of the driveway and run right back. She thought he was gonna be gone longer. I don't know what caught. But the same eyewitness, I got affidavit and everything. I had to do all this myself. And I was promised that the car and shoe, get that picture of that shoe, baby, you don't mind, you got it on you. I was kind of promised, you know, in the back and forth between me and New Jordan, if I got an affidavit and kind of proved to them that it was something going on, that they would at least test the shoe. The shoe would tell what vehicle it was that hit my son. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to take the whole car because it costs a lot more money. But one shoe tested would be about $4,500. Now, if you got, and that, if that tells you the vehicle, that tells you a whole lot, because their statements hung on they got run over by a truck taken off. Now, I thought about showing y'all pictures of my son's body, but I don't want to do that. I don't think that's right. But individually, I would, if anyone will come up to me and see the pictures I got of my son's body, and you tell me what you think out of just own common sense, you know, just looking at it. If you think he got run over by a truck taking off, it don't matter how fast you take off. If he's hit by one car in the back, by the time you fall, the rest of that car done gone past. You can't get hit from your head. He was run over across his face, down his chest this way. That's two different directions right there. Now, the truck hit him wrecking, flipping. And you can't give me applause. I'm looking at the most logical. And when that car hit him. Because underneath the car, I got pictures. It's damage all over underneath the car. It wasn't even looked at. We had to pay $200 to get. Anyway, I broke down coming here, and I'm all out of whack. You have to excuse me because all my stuff is shuffled up. I was trying to get off the side of the road. That's why I was late and everything. Yeah, I got some pictures right here. I'll show you. No, that's probably. When I was arrested, what's that look like to you right there? I know what it looks like to me, but I was just gonna ask you, Danny, what's that? You can show it to them. Yeah. I was arrested for taking that picture. That's the end of Smith and M's driveway right there. That's what underneath that car it stood. These studs right here are mounted with robots when they go through there. And if you ever worked on one, you know how hard they are to bend over like that. And that stud's bent over both directions. That's going one direction, that's going the other. That means they ran over and then backed over. Anybody ever fool with a exhaust pipe? You ever get under a fool with it and you got that powder on it? See how that powder's been wiped off? This is just little stuff. And common sense, I'm looking at it. And that tar right there. There's something on that tar I couldn't get off. I don't know what it was. I just decided. And right here. At one speck. Looks like blood. Underneath the whole car. See them studs everywhere? That's what the ones that's bent over. These studs. This drive shaft right here, I got a better picture of it. See how it's been rubbed? Something rubbed up against that drive shaft while it was going? That's a picture that was left behind. I told y'all last time my son's check stub was in that bag there. Same bag. I'm just trying to go through these and give you an idea of, you know, I've been busy doing, this is the track down at the, this ain't down at where you seen the blood. This is where the other blood is. This is where the sheriff and them says it happened. This is where, I backed the car up into the tracks down there to see if the wheelbase was the same and everything. But this Charger won't leave in black marks like that. That's why I don't think, you know, that's the only clothing I got on my son had on that night. See that black mark going across that shoe? This is his right shoe, the furthest one from if he was walking on the passenger side. You know, her second statement said, well, she shut the door and he took 2 steps back. That's a contradiction itself in 2 different statements right there. And then she told the eyewitness I got, not an eyewitness. He's an eyewitness of what she told. He's an eyewitness of the hotel going on. And it wasn't just once. 20 something days later, he seen him again. He actually carried her to meet him at the hotel. And I got credit card numbers and everything's redacted out because I don't know. You know, I'm just saying, I think I got enough proof here. Now that's a truck mark right there where somebody turned around, looks like to me. Now you can tell that comes from a truck. See the tread? And look at that on your shoe. You don't see no kind of tread or anything. You see what I'm saying? The difference. That's a kind of slick tar on it. But that's a black mark on the shoe. That's all on the clothing I got, and it was left in the car. And, you know, I got other pictures of this shoe. The back side of it and the bottom of it is just, it's got tar on it where the pressure of the road. So, it's, there, I think we got evidence enough that should have been an autopsy. Lee Jordan and Yates, Mr. Yates, both said they wanted an autopsy. Now, this is the other picture I took. And that's tar coming up out of the road, because I went back down there and checked. I videoed myself going down there this time, so if there's anybody says anything, I got a whole video of me the whole time I was there and as I left. But this is that looks like, I asked y'all what it looks like to y'all. There's the same picture right there. And that, you can see right there in the other picture, there's what blowed up in the other picture that he looked at first right there. You can see both. You know, there's all kinds of stuff strode. That's sunglasses right there that was right next to this bag that I found that had his receipts and stuff in it. The scene wasn't took care of, or it was planted there one. You know, I don't know. I didn't get good pictures of the windshield. I told everybody it looked like he was hit like this. On each arm, right at the end of the windshield, there's a rectangle crack, like hand, and then at the bottom down there, like a head hit. That's just my take. You know, because the windshield didn't have a crack one in when it left that time. Even a pregnancy test that's on. She just took a pregnancy test. They told her she thought she was pregnant. And she just took one that was found on the bridge. You know, I just took pictures and gathered everything. That was at the scene, exactly where Samantha and her boyfriend was seen. The witness backed out. He won't talk to the law. He backed out. But I know him, and my lawyer knows him. I'm gonna end up talking to him sooner or later. But he's seen them at that exact spot where that bag was found. Their lights off, looking for a cell phone. They didn't cut the lights on till they seen them coming from Pope. And they clicked the lights on, and he went to school with her. He ID'd her, and he pretty much described Corey, her boyfriend. But that way down in the ditch, he said, I don't know how a cell phone would have got down there, but that's where he was, and he was acting squirrely, what he put. That's the same picture. That's the picture. See that blood? You can see it in the picture right there. That's what it looks like to me. And I'll tell you the whole truth about this right here. When I took these pictures, the naked eye, I couldn't see that. If I did, I would have walked up to the close-up. But if you know anything about photography, the camera pick up stuff that I won't. This was September 29th when that was took. Yeah, my son was killed basically going into the first. So that's 29 days old. And I ain't gonna hide anything. That's, you know, I wished I could have got down there earlier and took pictures of it. I didn't know what I had until I started looking at my phone. I said, well, I didn't see that down there, but it's showing up. A lens will pick stuff up your eye, I won't. But this is just stuff I'm working on right here. You can tell real good how them studs are being, you know, something went under there. And I got 2 or 3 statements from people, and got some coming that she told 2 people at one time, and I'm waiting on the other to come forward and, verify this. When I talked to one, and I talked to the other one's parents the other day, and said your son was with this other guy when Shanna started talking, and all I want's the truth is what I told her. And I said, your son's about my age, and I would hate to see him get involved with this girl and end up dead. I don't want nobody to feel like we're doing, I promise you. And all I'm doing is trying to prove that there's something more going on than what's being shown. And to me, you know, I ain't no investigator, and I'm doing all I can. This ain't easy. It ain't easy having to look at my son's pictures, reliving, seeing him laying there. And I mean, you go through day by day, and you know how often, you know, you with your kids and you think of something and it makes you think of them. So, and we still at the point that we holler upstairs. You know, I catch myself as I hey Bubba, you know, because we can't grasp how hard it is. And it's every day we live. He lived right up the hill from us. He had a trailer right up the hill from us. And then he moved in with us when he got to a divorce. He couldn't even go back in there because they, you know, they've together 13 years. It's a long time. They both each other's first love. And that's what led him to Shannon. And that's what led to this. Now, I ain't saying she's the whole cause. Her sister's got a lot to bear in here. But one of the first things I brought up with Sheriff Houston is they say y'all arrest some Goodsons, but y'all will some and won't others. And he's like he said, I said over and over and over, I get tired of saying it. He assured me he'll arrest anybody, and he did. He arrested me and Colton. There's the only one been arresting this whole thing, and it's just it's stupid. It's plain stupid. I mean, all I asked for, see, the chain of custody has been broke here. We paid for it to be, but we paid $200 to take that car away and the evidence with it. That's basically what happened. So, unless another agency gets involved, I don't know how it works, if the chain of custody can be overlooked. I happen, you know, Joel said something about I could have probably done this myself. I ain't gonna even comment on that, because this is the only shoe we had, and I want justice. I want true justice. That's why everybody I talk to, I tell them, if you don't feel comfortable telling me what you telling me, don't even tell me, because I want truth. Don't appease me. Don't tell me what you think you want me to hear. That's all I'm after. What happened to my son? And I know from looking at his pictures. You know, I ain't got to be a pathologist. I got a pathologist looking at the pictures already, fixing to tell me what they think. But I know what I could tell was when he left. It was between 9:50 and 9:15. Now the same witness. Now I got another witness I ain't even mentioned. The one that my son died in her arms. I know where she's at. She's talking to me now. See, I got all these witnesses after they told me they can't do nothing else. What else you want me to do is what the sheriff said that I ain't already done. Now I brought up this shit and stuff like that. And he told me the chain of custody was messed up because Scott County kept the car too long. Well, the initial statement said that Alan Martin stayed with the car until Curtis Tow and come got it and brought it to Raleigh. So that was either a lie or either he didn't know the case and accidentally told me a false, you know. Well, it's gotta be one or the other. Either he don't know the case or either he lied to me, he knows the case. Because that night they took the car straight to the impound lot. And the only time that car was moved is when we paid $200 to go get it, and the shoe was inside of it, the window was down, the gun was in there, fully unengaged. He only had one bullet in the car, and it was gone. He ain't shot nobody, ain't nobody come up with no bullet wound. And it goes back in my mind, should I give my son some bullets to go in that gun? Would he be alive today? Or somebody else might be dead? You know, what goes through your mind especially when you look at pictures of your son? Now this girl that held my son when he died, She told me something the other day that changed the whole case. And she said she didn't want to say nothing, but right before Bubba left, I told y'all this a while ago, she said, pregnant, you ain't gonna keep me away from my sister. But she was drunk. She might have said that out of haste. But what do when somebody comes back and then they don't go back home? He ends up dead. That was the last thing she said to him before he left. And when he got back, I got a witness that carried her down back to her sisters. And the whole way down there, she was puffing, cussing him, talking about him, rapping about hurting him and all this stuff. And when he gets back down, what did he find? I don't know. But I do know the sheriff department that handed over to the DA. I can't get the DA on the phone for nothing. All this right here, the DA ain't got it. I have to send stuff to an email, and I don't know if he's getting it, or his assistants are getting it, or I don't know anything. You see what I'm saying? I'm stumped. I got all this evidence. I'm trying to present it. I even went back and worked with Lee until they told me they brought MBI about the lie detector and all that stuff, the polygraph. That's a whole other story. The polygraph was put forward like they was doing something. I called MBI to verify. They come down and done it. And they said, oh, we can't tell you nothing. The sheriff can tell you. I said, well, I just want to verify. That's all I want to do. Verify. Y'all come down here and done it. Okay. Now, when you got new evidence and you don't present that evidence, it don't matter. You're working on that case. It don't matter if it makes you look bad. You still supposed to do your job. You know what I'm saying? That constructive criticism goes a long way, in my opinion. If you can't take criticism and somebody's trying to be constructive with it, you know, that's all I'm doing. I ain't down in the sheriff. I'm trying to get him to do a better job. I asked him to do it like he was his son, and I'm asking y'all to treat me like y'all would want to be treated if it was y'all's child. That's all I'm asking for, and I appreciate everything that y'all let me speak on, and I don't want to take up a whole lot of y'all's time, but I want to just show y'all, and you know, out of y'all's opinion, you know, do y'all think I got anything that shows that this case didn't go the way it's supposed to? I asked Lee Jordan that, but I said, are you confident in what you found and what I showed you? Are the people around you, take me out of the equation, are you confident with Yo? And he said, we ain't got nothing but hearsay. Well, hearsay's the hearsay I got comes straight from Shannon's mouth, because she told the person. That ain't hearsay. That's a witness hearing her give a different statement than her initial statement. Now, if a polygraph was given on her initial statement, we wasted MBI's time, we wasted my time, wasted his time. You got all this evidence. I done showed them this evidence. They got the affidavit. I got the guy to sign the affidavit. He won't talk to the law. None of these people talk to the law. And the ones that will, don't tell them what they tell me. Well, you know, intimidation. They seen me get arrested. They living down there. You know what I'm saying? They could be one. I wasn't expecting. I was working on this case with Colton when they come and pick me up. Had collard greens cooked on the stove. Fixing to put cornbread on. I wasn't worried about going to jail. I ain't done nothing. You know, I wasn't thinking nobody's gonna pull up. Well, I didn't get to eat collard greens that night. The wife, we've been together 30-something years. And only a few times we, you know, laid down together, or we had our kids at home. We know we always been a close-knit family. And that's another night that she had to spend, you know, by herself. It was strange when you love was right there, and then all of a sudden they go home. You know, I thought about her. She, you know, and stuff like that. Just like same way with my kids. You know, I was a close father, real close. I mean, everything. When I see kids in Walmart, daddies with a little son, you know, that reminds me of my son. You know, everything's gonna remind you of kids, especially when they're gone. And I just, you know, I hate repeating myself over and over. I'm gonna keep searching. The Attorney General's office is involved a little bit. I ain't heard back. I'm trying to just let y'all know who all I said something to. But it gets aggravating when I shouldn't even be having to do this, but it gets aggravating when I feel like I'm sitting here spinning tires, and it's like a hoarder. They hoard and hoard and hoard until they can't hardly get around in their own house. I got evidence coming out of my ears all around me. When I broke down on the way here, I'd load 3 boxes up of evidence that I've gathered. You know, some of it ain't been corroborated and stuff like this, but it's all threads. You know, you keep pulling, you might find something, you know, oh, he said that, he said that, they don't even know each other. One of the witnesses I got put in jail. And he said he started talking to another guy that was in jail and told him the same story Shannon told him. They never met until they went to jail. You see, stuff like that. And I'm coming, and something I ain't touched on, and it's kind of taboo, but it's safety wise. This girl's been with a lot of people, and she gave my son her visa. And the deputy needs to get itself checked, I'll put it that way. And just by my investigation, I've counted probably around 12 people she slept with since my son's death. And half of them she's telling stories to. So, you know, she's showing her own demise. But I'd rather her go to jail for what she done and find God there and not be out here and be one of these to get killed like my son, OD or something like that. Cause that's what's gonna happen. In the long run, what I'm trying to do is help her. She don't realize it. How many people you heard say, that saved my life, man? That 5, 6 years in jail, I'd probably be dead. You know, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of preachers like that. They preach on it because they meth heads and everything, the whole 9 works. And some of the best preachers you ever heard, because they've been there and done that. And that's just touching on some of the stuff. You know, I can't think of everything right now, but I got most of the stuff I told you, I got stuff to back up what I say. You know, I would never claim anything on anybody, you know, bring anybody out like that. And you know, what I did I show y'all the receipts that I redacted? Okay, I just wanted to redact anything. I don't want no trouble. I don't want nothing to come back on me. But you cannot say you innocent and you sleeping with. Now, the same deputy told me, I wasn't nothing about that case. Well, the 31st, between 9:50 and 10:15, when I went called when my son was killed. Okay. We didn't know about it till 1 o'clock in the morning, September 1st. That same September the 1st, this deputy was down there taking statements from Samantha. He's not investigating no more. He was taking statements from Samantha. The next day, the 2nd, he was in the hotel with Shannon. And then 20 some odd days later, on the 25th, he was in the hotel with her again. Now, if she's an innocent, why would she have to be sleeping with a deputy? That just proves my point right there. And I knew about this. I done heard about this when I come last time, but I couldn't. I didn't want to, you know, like I said, I don't say nothing I can't prove. And because, you know, a hypocrite throws stuff out there that they can't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be no hypocrite. You know, if I don't want to do nothing that seems hypocritical. I don't want to do anything that seems. I want justice, and I'm gonna try my best to find it, and I want y'all to come along with me. I'm gonna kind of share it with y'all if that's okay, you know, because y'all funding the sheriff's department, and anything you fund, I'm one person. I found this out, you know, by myself, and if I'm doing it, and they got way more resources than I got. All I got is a pistol for my own protection, which I don't even carry with me half the time, and I just keep talking to people that I know. I grew up here, but a lot of the problem was when Lee Jordan was on vacation, Yates took it, and then that swapped up. You right off the bat, you had problems right there, then you didn't have a solid investigator. and you got an initial report. If I was gonna come in and say, we need fresh eyes to look at this, and I was an investigator, what would I look at first? That initial report that Yates took. Well, on that initial report, it says that Alan Martin was told to stay with the car until Curtis Towing got here. They took more care of the car than they did my son. My son, the coroner got him, carried him straight to Wolf Funeral Home, his family's own business. Instead of, they went right by the hospital. They could have stopped at the hospital. They could have evaluated his injuries, had us come up there, ID the body. I don't know the procedure, but I would think that would be more procedure. If my family, my mother and father owned a funeral home and I was a coroner, just out of the way things looked, I wouldn't go straight to there. Cause people, it's a conflict of interest. It don't look right. And that, to me, they don't lose more business out of doing stuff like that. You don't look right and say, hey, that Sullivan coroner boy, he carried it straight to Sullivan Funeral Home, didn't he? They like making that money. You see what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. Now, he didn't act too happy when we said we wanted him to go to Alderman. We got family in Alderman. It's our choice. It's just like, it don't G-haul, as he put it. And when a mortician there used to be a cop, I don't want my son's pictures to get out because they graphic, and he, it's dignity there, But like I said, any one of y'all want to look at them, I'll show them to you personally. But them pictures said the world to me. I mean, you cannot. I mean, we all been. How many of us leaned up to the pickup truck right there in the back tires right there, or right up here in the back tires to our left? You know what I'm saying? And you can just visualize a truck taking off fast or slow. It don't matter. Ain't no way from head to toe. I mean, my son had hide that wide ripped all the way down to his Achilles tendon. Yeah. And the other side was gravel or pavement marks in it. Now, that means something had to be that up under a truck with a 2-inch lip. You ain't got nothing like that. The closest thing would be the bell housing, way up under there, I would think. Or the tar itself. The tar itself, by the time he fell, the rest of the tar was none on past him. You see what I'm saying? Just common sense thing. And that mud grip, where it looked like somebody turned the wheels and took off and backed up, that's what it looked like to me. That ain't the same tar print. I mean, I can tell that. And I'm just a boy that grew up in Pokeville. That right there, that tar residue right there, when I get it tested, I believe it's gonna come back as his own car ran over. And the injuries, that's what the injuries look like to me. Most logical. Now, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll start looking somewhere else. But that's, you go, water flows the least resistance, and that's where I'm flowing. I'm flowing to where I see truth. And I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Supervisor.
Appreciate it.
We certainly a tragic situation,
Yeah.
we certainly feel for your loss and.
Yeah, I feel those prayers and everything. Yeah, and that's what we're looking for, some closure to where we can grieve. This keeps us, how the drive keeps me going because I know my son. I'm gonna find out, man. There ain't no stronger love you got for your kids, you know what I'm saying, than what you got with the Lord above, and you love him more because you know that's what's on place that kid above everything. That's why we live, for our children. When I got sick one time, I didn't know, they said I might have cancer. First thing, I didn't think of myself, I thought about my kids. I said, and how this has hurt my family. The woman that just divorced him realized that she made a mistake. And it almost killed her. Especially when she found out she was pregnant and it could have been his. But she lost the baby. That almost killed her too. Yeah. We've been through a lot, and she's like a daughter. She's my daughter-in-law for 13 years, and his mama and sister. I mean, my grandchildren love Bubba, and I call him Bubba. We call him Bubba, and one of the main things I keep saying over and over, I got one friend, you didn't tell me he was on that stuff. I said, I told you she got him back on. And I told you that, I tell everybody, I said, I warned him, I said, Bubba, don't let her drag you into that if you're trying to help her off that stuff. I said, I think God's telling us to help each other. I can help her, keep her away from over there and help her clean herself up. And she kind of helped me get over Danielle. And you know, how you tell your son not to do what he thinks God's telling him to do? But I don't know. I don't know why God lets stuff happen. But I know I gotta accept it if I'm gonna stay here. But I don't find no problem in looking for truth. If anybody's against me trying to find out what happened, and I ain't going by no ill means finding it out. I ain't lying and cheating and stealing finding it out. I'm asking people straight up. Now, one of the main ones I talked to, the first time I don't know nothing about all that. I said, look, man, I talked to him. I said, look, so I know you got kids. And I talked to him like I talked to y'all. I said, all I want's the truth. I said, I know you know my son, you met my son. And then he said, well, they did come down here. That's when I heard that it happened right there. Right next to Sammy Keith's and all. I heard it happen right there. Well, they did come down here with flashlights, looking all up and down the road. I said, then somebody said they pulled Sammy Keith over, even checked in his motorcycle for drugs and stuff. I said, was it dark? He said, it just turned dark. I said, that wasn't, they was looking for drugs, he done threw out, that was too early. You know, I done put this together enough that I know, you know, the time tells me a lot. And time tells me a lot when the woman that was holding my son, had to cuss Shannon. She's already on the phone 911, walking around. Get the F in the car. That's what she told her. She said, I loaded up myself. Didn't nobody ask me to get in there. I didn't. She started crying. I said, I don't even know CPR, but I was trying. She said, you had a good boy. I said, I know. And she loved him to death. This is Sammy Key's girlfriend that finally escaped. She didn't run off, she escaped. Because she done escaped 2 or 3 times and he finds her and brings her back. She don't want to be over there. Now she done found somebody that treated her right and everything, and she wanted to talk to us. And she said Shannon was sitting there on 911 and she had to say, get that F in the car and let's go. Now, so in the 19 minutes, part of that 19 minutes there was spent her on the phone, killing time. Now, somewhere between 20 and 25 minutes before then, everything happened. So that's how much time was wasted when 14 miles, from the hospital if they just went straight. Less than 3 miles from my house. You see where I'm going with this? They denied him help. Now either they were scared to catch an assault charge because they run over his leg or something. If it happened in a truck, they would just hit his leg or something. But they don't run over him with the car. And they, you know, if he made it, it would have been aggravated assault or something like that. Or go the other way, and if he dies, it ain't gonna be nothing if they can get out of it. And call it an accident. It wasn't no accident. I done seen too much, you know, and like I told just Lee Jordan and the sheriff and everything, if I would ever come up on something showing me it was an accident, first one I turned it in, I said, good job, y'all seen it first. And I'll check if it turns out that way, and it can't turn out that way, I done got too much proof. It can't be no accident. It cannot. You cannot take yourself and sell yourself. That's another thing. Her ex-boss, you know, she was a prostitute at Taco Boy down there. So if you ever went in there and you seen a young pretty girl passing her number out to older guys, that's who it was, that's Shannon. That's him, that's the boss man telling us this. He got rid of her because she come in drunk, come in with no bra on, and she passed the numbers out to all the older guys. That's him, that's what he said. And you know, I just asked, I backtracked, because she was living at our house for 6 months. And I told her, I said, when I talked to her last time, she wanted to speak to me. I said, I know you way better than I did when you lived in my house. You know what kind of son I raised. You know, and all that wasn't new to her. The girl lived a hard life. And Sammy Key, her daddy, started everything. Can you imagine if a young girl's prostituting? What I hear, I can't prove. I hear it starting at 15 is what I heard. And I can't prove that. And if I can't prove that, I'll tell you what I heard, but I'll let you know I can't prove it. Starting at 15, she started prostituting or swallowing for sex. Now, it's a hard life for a child. What makes a child comfortable doing stuff like that? It means they've been messed with. Now, I got people that have told me that and says they heard it out of Shannon's own mouth. But I ain't going in that direction. I'm just letting you kind of know. That's what I told Lee Jordan when he said, well, that's a young girl, how old is that? I said, 22. I said, but she's lived a life of a 40-year-old at least already, a hard life. And, you know, it's hard for me to sit here and kind of throw a little cover for her. But I ain't throwing cover, I'm showing y'all.
Scotty, are you gonna submit a request this morning?
For the, I'm gonna talk about the,
You wanna pass it out, or are you gonna?
do I got it?
I mean, you got all the paperwork
You
to
talking
submit
about
a funding request today. Are you gonna follow through with that?
You talking about for the exemption or something like that?
Yeah, for all that.
Well, I'm gonna look more into it, cause the laws, different, Mississippi law, stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's why I'm coming up here with more evidence. 'Cause
Hey,
it's state
speaking
law.
of evidence, so Joel, can we get criminal charges, at least an investigation going into this deputy based on this new evidence?
None of this is relevant for a board meeting. This is a board meeting discussing county business, and what you're discussing is criminal charges that can be taking place down in my office.
The way they handle it, the way they handle it, I ain't got no problem, but I'm just presenting what I found. And like I said before, I don't, you know, I don't want to show what I found, but I got to, cause, you know, I want my son to have justice. I believe anybody would be just doing the same thing.
We believe that there should be an independent investigation. I want an independent investigation.
Yeah, we don't
Cause
trust.
I don't believe that that justice is served. I want an independent investigation, and if his body has to be exhumed, then it needs to be exhumed. Because there's just so much evidence that, I mean, it's just overwhelming
Yeah.
to try to even explain it. Like he said, when you see your child laying on the slab dead and they're trying to say he was ran over one time, when his body's practically mutilated, even sores on top of his head. How did sores get on top of his head? I mean, he's damaged from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Almost every bone in his body's broke. His chest is collapsed. How did one tire do that? And they were drunk. Why wasn't anybody arrested?
Almost everybody I talked
One's
to
going to nursing school.
was there that night, said Shannon was bad drunk and said Samantha was drunk too. There was a party going.
And they all told us that it happened at Samantha's house. He was ran over in Samantha's house where these pictures was took. And you can clearly see blood in the pictures. But he was arrested for going over there and taking these pictures.
Or for
What's
what they
going
say
on?
stalking it. And that window went through all that, they didn't show up for court and everything. I got out, took 3 pictures, got in, went down the road, turned around. Now, you know, that's all in the past. But what I'm saying, we don't keep bringing stuff up. Cause I believe, you know, I know I showed y'all enough evidence to show that it wasn't no accident. The witness I got said they was trying to take his car. And the whole idea of Bubba saying, trying to get her out of the truck, like, no, don't leave, is really the opposite.
He was trying to get her out of his car.
He didn't have enough.
He wanted to break up with her. He was trying to get her out of his car. And Samantha came and jumped in the driver's seat and ran over him twice in his car.
Because
We have
Corey,
a eyewitness that, they're telling that too.
Corey was there. The eyewitness, not the eyewitness, but the one that Samantha told, Shanna told this guy, the one I got the affidavit from, that Corey came with Samantha. So that explains how they loaded. You know, my son, she ain't got my son back on that stuff, so he wasn't 240, he done lost weight, but he was still at least 200 pounds. Hell, I'm 200 pounds. You know, he's way bigger than I was. You know, his shoulders just broke, you know, he's a big boy. Corey come with him. That's what she told this guy that signed out. The same guy seen the deputy twice. If he lied, you know, I wouldn't take much stock in what he said. But I done found out, each time he told me, he told me 2 truths right here. So, he told me what, he said, Shanna told me, this is what Shanna told me. And I got every bit of the statement wrote down, from the first word to the last. Not on paper and signed, but, you know, I got the whole statement, what he told me, but we was kinda in a hurry when we done that today. He wrote out just a little bit of what he knows on each subject, about the deputy, and about what she told him about running over in his own car. He come to get his car. He's trying to get his car. Samantha jumped in. Why would Samantha jump in the car? She never drove the car. She jumped in because Corey and Bubba and they got into a fight. And she ran over and killed him. Simple as that.
And Shanna described how it felt when she ran over him. How it felt when she ran over him. And they backed up and ran over him again. She said it didn't, the second time it didn't jar as bad as the first time.
Cause he went under the whole undercarriage. Now she explained this. This is the one when she explained to 2 different people at the same time. Now I'm in the process of hearing the other one. He's gonna call me back and talk to him. But, and I'm gonna match them up. I'm gonna see if their statements are the same. If it is, you know,
We
that's
got
the
her on
problem.
recording, we recorded her twice telling 2 different statements. The first time she claimed that, they ran over him, he fell trying to hold her off or something. And then the second time, she claimed that he took 2 steps back. Well, he's figure
And she shut the
size
door.
15. If he took 2 steps back and she shut the door, how did they run over him?
The thing about it, when you ain't got nobody and you ain't questioning them, the FBI might can ask all the questions they want on this statement. She's had plenty of time to memorize that. She said plenty of time. She asks, when she answers questions, she goes, yes, no. She knows how, she's been coached. I'll tell anybody to the face, any sheriff or any deputy down there won't say anything different. She's been coached. Now, she might not slip nobody in the hotel, but I bet you if she was coached in there, she wouldn't, or both. You know, I'm just, that's gotta be the fact. You know, it ain't no different. You know, if you carry somebody to the hotel to coach them, I'm looking at the facts of the case. The case is, it didn't happen the way they said it did. It needs to be looked into further. We don't trust the sheriff's department to do that.
But we want an independent investigation into his murder. That's what we want, that's what we're here today for.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll table this issue. Appreciate y'all coming today.
Like, I won't take up a whole lot of y'all's time. I done took up enough.
Like I said, we'll table this and, we'll go from there, okay?
I just, do y'all understand that, can you see out where I'm seeing, I got extra evidence? I just want to be recognized that I got that and the community can see that I got that. And where I don't sit here and feel like I'm giving out and ain't nobody noticing. I'm gonna bring it, if I don't bring it to attention, it just died like my son's dead, you know what I'm saying? He don't deserve that. Any one of y'all, if y'all kids, and it's the same, I think y'all ought to deserve the same justice, and in this country, we can fight for our kids, and we can go out and look and find stuff, and that's a good thing. We ain't gotta rely on what the sheriff's department or police department do everything.
Never been against the sheriff's department.
No.
My family was police. My grandfather retired from the police force, my 2 uncles did. I don't have nothing against it. I've always been taught to respect the police, and,
We do.
I mean, I've donated money to the police force and stuff like that.
We respect the job they do and
Yes.
the danger in it, and we know the danger in it, and it ain't nothing about that. I'm, like I told you, it's all about truth, and, we'll let y'all get on to other issues, but, I'm glad y'all
We
can see what.
appreciate y'all coming by, and like you say, we'll table this, and we'll be good, John.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all. Got all. Going now.
Okay, we're gonna move on to, I think we have this here.
We looked at it and, what about it? Cause we got time.
You just want us to table that then till,
Okay,
time to look at there.
And then I'll just
then
bring
you
this
go ahead and
back.
bring- Is that something else you need to bring up?
this
Yeah.
Let's just copy that.
is a copy,
Okay.
I'll keep this one as,
Okay, let's just table that, have a chance to look at it, and then, we'll get back with it. Do I hear a motion?
that is something that we'll bring back up because we have to have
We
They
can do
have
it
to
today,
have
but I
all-
think we need to look at it.
authorization. And then the only other thing I would like is approval to attend the conference June the 23rd through the 25th in Biloxi.
Tax
Well-
assessors.
The Mississippi Assessor Collector Conference.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take care of the first motion. Danny made a motion on it. Second by Jerry. All in favor, and now attending the conference or at Biloxi? I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second? Second by Howard. All in favor?
Thank y'all.
I forgot to leave this, y'all, this, paperwork for the autopsy and all the stuff that's gonna have to be done. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.